Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I do hope all of you enjoyed a very Merry Christmas with loved ones, family, and friends. Now, today we're going to ask the question, is the Christmas rally cancelled? What happened? December 26th came. We saw a wonderful Christmas pump up from about 92K up to 199, 100K on Christmas Day, and then we're welcomed with this sell-off. But I did give some warnings in yesterday's video, and I'm going to show you some more data that has come in, as well as we're going to look at the charts, a bunch of other stuff. But before we do that, you know what I'm going to say, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel. I do appreciate all the kind words and the Merry Christmases that I got all yesterday. You take the time to write it. I take the time to read it. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every single one of you who take the time to do that. And then those of you who put the questions in the comment section, I do look to get back to those as soon as I am able to. And of course, if you'd love to engage with me more directly, ask questions, interact, the Stocks with Josh Discord, I'm in there daily, interacting with the most amazing community on the planet. You can get signed up for that. There are 2 links below in the description. You just might need to click the more button. It will pop out. There'll be a description there, and you can get signed up for one of those plans below. And I'm in the crypto channel there daily, the meme coin channel, the AKA the party zone, also in the Stocks with Josh channel, as well as my own channel, my own Crown Traders channel in there, where I share education, insights, resources, some of the trade setups that I'm taking, and of course entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And then also make sure below is my X handle as well, below that. And if you're not following me on X, we have been doing giveaways, and if you would like, I can't give giveaways to everybody here. I'd love to just give giveaways to everybody there, but some we have been randomly selecting there to giveaways. I think we've given about 7 different people now. We will continue to do giveaways from now through to the first week of January at least. So just make sure that it's Crypto Coins 365. Just make sure you're following me there. That's how we're going to find you. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and join the most amazing family, the Tribal Trades community, the Tribal Trades family. You are absolute the best, and I appreciate you all so much. And that makes my heart very warm post-Christmas, because it hasn't been that warm this morning. It has been cold, and this was one of the warnings that I gave yesterday. I shared about how there were significant inflows of Bitcoin. That generally means short-term weakness. And I did share that I was a little bit concerned that the January dump was going to get front run, and that Bitcoin does get moved to the exchanges to sell. So it's quite bearish. And of course, what we have seen is also over 33,000 Bitcoin have been sent to exchanges over the past week, valued at more than 3.23 billion. Okay, so again, this should be a little bit of a warning sign. Is the sell-off over? What happened to the Christmas rally? Is the Christmas rally canceled? And we do have to entertain some of these thoughts. I mean, look what happened here. Degens eat too much Christmas food and got drunk. They went 100x long during Christmas and now got liquidated. And this is also what I predicted yesterday as well from the yellow brick road, that I saw all that liquidity below price, and then after we hit that 100K, that I felt that we might see a little bit of a pullback, and that's what we saw. And we're actually coming back to the 50-day moving average, which is sitting, so where we found some support there at 95,000, around 95,200. So that has came down and found support. The good thing is, this is almost like a trend line here. This 50-day moving average is really arcing up. We have found some support here, and we are creating a lower highs, and this is a higher high here. So this is quite good on the daily there. We're creating this, and we'd like to see some more of that. Now, hopefully the Bitcoin sell-off, that's it. Hopefully that was the Bitcoin that got sent to exchange and got sold and created this dump here. Maybe that's it, and maybe this will be just a little bit of a flush out. So there's a couple of scenarios that we have to consider. The first scenario is that the Christmas rally is cancelled and that it will kind of just, what we would say, sit in this channel between this 92 and 100K between now and the end of the year. And we're a little bit more advanced in the cycle. Remember, we did see a green September, and usually September is a little bit red. Maybe we're going to see a slightly green or slightly red December. We have to consider that. We do have to consider that the Christmas rally just lasted literally Christmas Day, and this 92K up to 100K, this $8,000 shot that we got up there. That's a consideration that we do have to consider there, and that therefore the January, we could see more of a drop come January. I do still think we'll see the January drop. So no matter what happens in the next 5 days, I still believe we'll see that first week of January drop. And it's quite possible that we don't get over here and then we just drop down from that 100K level. And then that would lead people to believing that the bull market is over and there'd be a lot of fear in the market there. And this wouldn't have been on a rejection here. This would not have been a bad place to take some profits here, just right at this level here. As you see rejection, you can even get down to the 1 hour time frame and say, okay, on the hour where we hit it and then we retested and rejected. Okay, so you can see that there was some clear rejections there. So this now is going to be a tough area to get above, because not only is it a double Fibonacci there from Fibonacci stacking, which I have taught in previous episodes, we now have a real sell-off there. This is the candle that created the sell-off right at that point there. Okay, now let's go back to the 4 hour time frame here. And so you can see this is going to be a little bit of an area, and this obviously area here. So these are going to be tough areas to get through. We have found that support down to that 95,200 there. And so we'd want to, and the resistance, clearly the resistance there is going to be this 97. This is going to be quite a fierce level of resistance. So we're going to look at the liquidation heat maps in a moment there. So that's the first. The first theory is that the Christmas rally has now finished. That was it. We had it from 92 to 100K, and now we're just kind of going to bleed into the new year, just moving up and down in that channel, maybe between this area here of 95, maybe come a bit low. We'll look at the heat maps in a moment, and this area here before a further January dump. So that's number one. Option number two is obviously this is just a little bit of a flush out of those highly leveraged longs, and that we are now going to see a push back up to this 100K level today or tomorrow, and then we can push on to that, at least up to that next level of 104, 105, maybe onto 108 before the end of the year, before we had that drop. But I was concerned, it's when the whole market is saying one thing, the Christmas rally, sometimes you think, well, is that really going to happen? Because that's what everybody's predicting. Quite often I see the market goes the opposite. That's why I gave the warning yesterday. And if you missed my video yesterday, I gave a clear warning that I thought the market might be getting front run. I actually led with this article here of the outages and how it's short-term weakness. And this is very bearish whenever you see a lot of Bitcoin like this being moved to exchanges. Okay, so let's look at the yellow brick road here, and let's look first of all at the 24-hour time frame. And fortunately, there is a little bit of liquidity forming here. People just can't help themselves. They're still hung over from Christmas, and they're going long, and there's liquidations there at 94,768. 94 has been a bit of a key level, by the way. But up above, we have some hope. The yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We're going to follow the money. Bitcoin likes to follow the money. Show me the money, Bitcoin says. And we do have a fair bit up there at that 99 to 100K level on the 12-hour time frame. Again, the brightest yellow is above price. It doesn't mean that this little bit down here at 94,000 can't be liquidated. There is a little bit above at 96, but these are the yellow lines there. Let's move to the 48-hour time frame here. There's not a lot of bright yellow areas there again, we do have a little bit down below at 94.90, 94.95. But there's nothing that really stands out on the 48 hour at this time. Let's look at the 3-day time frame. There is some yellow above at 100K, and there is some yellow below at 93K on the 3-day chart. On the weekly chart here, and you can get this is a free resource you can get there on CoinGlass, you can download. And we do go to the 1 week chart, and we do see there is a lot of liquidity back at 92. Our old friend, say hello to my little friend at 92, back to 92. But I have been saying this, that it wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin was just ranging now between that 92 and $99,000 level there. We do have some liquidity up there around 99 and 100 there. So there's a fair bit chunk of it there. And I just don't, again, I don't solely trade off this alone, because at some point the liquidity does get left behind and you can get wrecked if you're betting one way or the other. Because at the end of the day, the market makers, we come down to 90,000 here. There's 220 million sitting there and 133 million further down. But of course, up above, there is 157 million at 109K there. So that is the question. So I still do think there is a drop coming in January. I do think we still see that sell-off. I do think that we could come back to that 99K level, and it's kind of like Groundhog Day at the moment. Does anybody feel like you're just kind of stuck? You know, everybody's seen that movie Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day. He's waking up with the same song and the same things happening all the time. It's only until he changes things that things change. And we just do need these overly leveraged longs to stop going long and getting liquidated. You'd think they would learn by now. But we do see this area. We'll look at this again here. This is where we really are trading between 92 and 97. Most of the volume is in this area here between these two yellow. This is why I teach this Fibonacci stacking. This is why I do the Fibonacci stacking. Fibonacci stacking is where you got more than one Fibonacci range. We can go back and you can have a look at them. There they are back there. There's more than one Fibonacci range that is helping us determine the Fibonacci areas that I believe are stronger than the others. And this has proved to be the case with most of the volume between 92 and 97. In fact, if you just bought at 92 and sold it around 97, you'd be doing quite well in this little period here that we have from around November through to the last 2 months. You'd be doing quite good. We do have the 50-day moving average there now. And so maybe we don't quite go as deep to that 92. Maybe we do see a little wick down, because it has wicked below the 50-day moving average. It wicked down, but are we going to see a close below that? Now, if we did see a close below the 50-day moving average, that would be a little bearish in my opinion, and maybe the January sell-off starts a little bit earlier. So just be careful with that. Is the January, is this being front run? There's no doubt for me that the January dumps being a little bit front run, and people saying, hey, I'm not going to wait for the first week of January. I'm just going to sell now. This is good. We're back up at 100. Do I think the bull run is over? No, I don't think the bull run is over. I still think we're going to see this bull run continue, because that would mean the 4-year cycle would be broken, in my opinion. And I don't believe the 4-year cycle is broken. And so I do think this will continue on. And we want to see December close. We want to see what happens in the first part of January. We want to see are we going to get that altcoin season? Is altcoin season canceled? Altcoins, some of them are on sale at the moment. We're going to talk about that in the altcoin video in just a moment, and just a little bit there. So this will be very, very interesting. So you might ask, well, what would be the best way to trade this little drop that we had here? Well, of course, I do think anytime Bitcoin does come down to the 50-day moving average or the 200 EMA on the daily, which is all the way down there at 75,000, usually historically has been a good time to add a little bit more Bitcoin. But I know people would be a little bit more fearful on that because of the pending January drop that has happened. And maybe this is the drop now, and then in January we don't get that January drop. That's something that has to be considered. I still think people are going to want who have held off and said, I don't want to lock in profits in 2024. We're going to lock them in on 2025. There's going to be that second wave of selling that comes. It really just begs the question, what will the price of Bitcoin be coming through to the end of the year? Okay, so again, in hindsight, this area here, when you see rejections at Fibonacci's, look for these rejections at Fibonacci's there and be looking to, maybe reduce positions or take profits off the table there for that. As far as altcoins go, yeah, we have seen a little bit of a drop, and I did say that altcoins could see a little bit more, some downside. But again, the altcoins, even though they kind of pumped up a little bit on Christmas Day with Bitcoin, we did see that 50-day moving average being held. So those are the key areas that I want to see. This is the altcoin market minus Bitcoin. I want to see the altcoins hold the 50-day moving average. We'll go into that a little bit more in the show in a couple of hours. But this is the key level that I do want to see held for Bitcoin, because we have not closed below that for some time, since for a while now back. I think Bitcoin was around 60,000. So that would be quite bearish there, and that could lead into some bleeding out through to January, and then maybe a bigger drop come January as well. So this is an interesting level that we're here right now. Would I be panic selling my Bitcoin at this point? No, but I would be looking to see, do we see a similar scenario here? So that's what I'd be looking at down here. If we were to lose this and close below this 95,000 level, which just happens to be where the 50-day moving averages, if we were to reject there, if we were to go under there, first of all, and then reject there at that 95,000 level, and you say what time frame, I think the 4 hour and the daily is always better, and you can still see it on the 4 hour. You got an opportunity to get out. It went up, it butted its head on it, and then it came back in the next 4 hour candle and rejected a second time. So the 4 hour time frame would be ideally on that. I'd be certainly looking at the 1 hour time frame as well. So that's what I'm looking for there, is a 50-day moving average, which just happens to be where this 95,200 level is. If it pushes up against that, if we get a close under there and we get another close there, then that's possibly where we could see, okay, maybe we're going to get some more downside here, and maybe we're just going to bleed off, and the Christmas rally, that was it. It's now canceled, and we just got that one big candle of 8,000 that shot back up to 100K there. Let's see what happens. Certainly that would be going against what historically has happened, where we have seen Bitcoin be very strong, and even I believe stocks can be very strong between the Christmas and the New Year's period. So I would be surprised if that happened, by the way, but I don't feel that we can discount that as a possibility. So I don't want people all fearful here saying, oh, the Christmas rally is canceled. I've given a couple of scenarios. Obviously, one, the more bullish scenario, where we could recover this and push back up to at least 100,000, maybe up to 104, 105, 108 before the end of December, earlier in the new year. And the other is where we just kind of bleed out a little bit, and possibly just go sideways in this area here. The more bearish one is where we lose the 50-day moving average, we retest it. And I do feel that there would be a retest of it, and if there is a rejection, that could lead us coming back down to that initially, that 92,000 level. But I am looking for closes on the hour, closes on the 4 hour, closes on the daily, just to see how that may play out. All right, we're going to leave it there. And as always, until the next episode, happy trading.